Hi, welcome to Shaolin Adapted Realistic Techniques. I'm Paul Graber. I have cerebral palsy. I've worked in the disabled community for over 20 years. I've been everything from a direct support provider to running my own nonprofit. I've trained in Shaolin Kung Fu for 27 years and counting. I've been a certified kettlebell trainer with the International Kettlebell and Fitness Federation for 13 years. And I also have Crohn's disease. And I'm just here today hoping that some of my knowledge and experience can be helpful to any and everybody who's out there watching. So thank you for clicking. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And without further ado, we'll get into today's topic. I've been recently asked by some friends and some clients, Paul, how is it that you can stay on the paleo diet? Well, for those of you who do not know, the paleo diet is basically where you eliminate everything except meats, vegetables, fruits, and certain types of nuts. Everything else is pretty much off the table. No dairy, no refined sugar, no processed food, no legumes, certain nuts are off the table. It's sort of restrictive. And as with anything that restricts what we eat, I advise anybody watching this, before you do any sort of diet, whether it's the paleo diet, the keto diet, the Mediterranean diet, the standard American diet, whatever it is, talk to your doctor first, because I didn't just decide to go on the paleo diet. I went on the paleo diet at the advice of my doctor. Due to my Crohn's disease, I was already used to limiting my diet somewhat. I prefer to use Chinese medicine to treat my Crohn's symptoms, and my physician is a doctor of Chinese medicine. He has studied in San Diego and China, and he recommended long ago that I eliminate dairy, anything raw, and anything cold from my diet. So I was already used to limiting my diet somewhat, but in 2019 I contracted some sort of stomach virus or some sort of illness that basically laid me low for about 5 days straight. And I really didn't do anything except get up out of bed and either go vomit or go sit on the toilet. And I apologize for being so graphic, but that was my reality at that time. And at the advice of my physician, I adopted the paleo diet, because the paleo diet is also known as the anti-inflammation diet. Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail on the paleo diet and what you can and can't eat. Google is everybody's friend. There's a wealth of information available. There's also lots of debate on whether or not certain things are paleo and which is or isn't paleo. But I'm only here to tell you how I'm able to stay on the paleo diet. My doctor did warn me that when I started this diet, that I was initially going to feel a little more rough than I felt to begin with. And he was correct, because my body went through withdrawal. It was addicted to the processed food, to the refined sugar, to all of that. So not having any of that was really rough at first. And I really didn't feel what I would consider great, really great, until probably about 3.5 weeks in. And then that's when I really started to feel good and really started to notice the positive changes as far as the significant healthy weight loss, the way that I felt, my energy levels, things like that you really could tell there was a huge difference and massive improvement as far as loss of body fat, increase of muscle mass. It was just really, the benefits were obvious. They were really, really obvious. But the misconception that I think people have with a lot of diets, especially diets where you restrict what you're allowed to eat, is that all of a sudden, you're stuck eating rice cakes and, dry, kale and spinach all the time. And that's simply not true. Now, do I miss milkshakes, ice cream, pizza, lasagna, all that stuff? Of course I do. I miss it horribly, but I don't miss feeling bad. But I also don't miss out either. I eat steak all the time. There's seasonings are paleo. I season my food. Honey is my friend. Maple syrup is my friend. Fruit is my friend. You know, I still have plenty of sweet stuff. There's a paleo cookie bar that I'm literally addicted to. I've tweaked the recipe and turned it into basically a healthy Reese's. It's almond flour, almond butter, paleo chocolate, and maple syrup. And it's wonderful. So you're not giving up any as far as taste and eating enjoyment. You're really not. You're just changing what you eat. And I can tell you, after doing this, it's going on a couple of years now that I've been eating the paleo diet fairly strict. And I can tell you that the few times that I've strayed, that I've eaten something, especially something that was artificially sweetened, something that had high fructose corn syrup in it, or that had a really high amount of refined sugar, it was gross. It was disgusting. And things like pineapple and real maple syrup and honey that used to not really taste that great to me or really weren't that sweet to me are now delicious. And I can't imagine going back to eating the other way because it simply just doesn't taste good. Now, okay, Paul, well, you've been doing it for a long time. It's now your habit. It's hard. What about, what if we're tempted to cheat? Aha. Just the other day, it was my birthday. It's when I turned 52, June 25th, 2021. Just the other day. And I kind of have a tradition on Thanksgiving and Christmas and my birthday, since I'm such a good boy and my diet is so restricted every other day of the year. On those 3 days, I eat whatever in the heck I want to eat. If I want ice cream, I eat ice cream. If I want cheese, I eat cheese. If I want it, I eat it. I'm not on a diet for those 3 days. Well, on my birthday the other day, I didn't eat ice cream, didn't eat cake, but I did eat some Mexican food with a lot of cheese. I had me 2 big old burritos covered in cheese, had the cheese dip with tortilla chips, and boy, now I didn't overindulge. I didn't devour 3/4 of the bowl of cheese dip on my own. I didn't ask for extra cheese on my burritos or anything like that. But I ate cheese, just a normal, like everybody else would, portion of cheese. And then later on in my birthday weekend, I ate a big triple-decker bacon and Swiss cheeseburger. And it had Swiss cheese melted all over it. Now, come the mornings after those days, did I, was I doubled over in agony? Was I running to the ER because my Crohn's symptoms were? No, not at all. Not at all. But the effects were noticeable. I had lots of stomach discomfort. I had bloating. I didn't feel great. And my trips to the bathroom the following morning were not their usual brief and clean and hardly at all aromatic, what they typically are. They were whoa, you ate something you shouldn't have kind of a thing. And I know that's gross, but guys, really, when you go to the restroom, that's one of the best ways you can tell whether or not you're really healthy. And I'm going to kind of touch on that a minute here because I noticed that big time going through getting diagnosed with Crohn's to where I'm at today on the paleo diet. I can tell by my morning trip to the restroom how my stomach is and how my insides are doing, because when I am really eating clean, and this is what I'm going to leave you with and why I think you should eat clean and why I think everybody's going to be able to start telling the difference if you do. When I'm really, really on my game, when I am eating as clean as I possibly can eat, my trips to the restroom are nice and solid. They pop right out. There's no discomfort. There's no nothing. There's hardly any fragrance. I'm not trying to say my stuff doesn't stink. I'm not trying to say I'm better, but just from my health standpoint, it's not something that it doesn't send me running for cover. And the paperwork is minimal. I'm talking 1 or 2 squares here, guys. I'm most assuredly not going through 1/4 of the roll. And I can tell if I don't eat clean, it's a different story. Things are kind of scary smelling. They're kind of scary looking. They're gross, and the cleanup is a lot more involved. And it's a drastic difference. So doesn't matter what you look like in the mirror. It's what's going on in the restroom is one of the best windows into how you feel and how you don't. And something you should pay attention to. In the future, I will be doing some videos on the things I cook on the regular, especially that cookie bar and other things, because I don't like living in the kitchen. About the longest I'll spend cooking anything is probably a good half hour. Other than that, I'm out of there. I got a life to live, just because I'm eating healthy. And the other thing that people complain about when it comes to specialized diets is they're expensive. Yeah, okay, I spend a little bit more money at Kroger, but not that much more. And I'd rather spend money at Kroger than I would at the doctor's office. And I eat better, and everything tastes better. Because I'm telling you guys, even the burritos and the burger and all that I ate this past weekend for my birthday, I couldn't wait. I waited all week. It's my birthday. I'm going to cheat. Yeah, cheat time. I was let down, guys. I really was. It didn't taste as good as I remembered. I felt bad. And it just really, overall, it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't. My body is so used to not eating the junk that even just a little bit of junk, it wasn't enjoyable. It didn't feel like a cheat. It felt like, why did I do this? I now feel bad needlessly. So it's like anything else, guys. It's a lifestyle. Either it's, what do you want out of life? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to look better? Or do you want to eat what you want? You got to put in the work. Whether you want to get strong, you got to lift weights. And if you want to feel better, you got to eat better. It's a trade. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Please share. Again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Much love. Peace.